The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Buongiorno a tutti e benvenuti a questo webinar che riguarderà appunto un nuovo prodotto che Gretec Italia andrà, diciamo, a supportare e a fornire. Questo prodotto si chiama iConstruct. È un prodotto appunto andremo a vedere appunto attraverso la demo di Robert, che vi presenterò adesso tra 5 minuti. Andremo appunto a vedere come questo tipo di piattaforma, questo tipo di applicativo per Autodesk Navisworks può aiutarvi per una gestione avanzata di modelli Bim appunto all'interno di Navisworks. Io vi dico, io sono Marcello Vezzelli, Bim Implementation Engineer di Gretec Italia, e vi posso dire che questo prodotto che sto utilizzando appunto per sviluppare dei processi custom per alcuni clienti mi ha veramente stupito, sono veramente contento, lo sto usando per gestire case detection e anche estrazione di informazioni, tra le quali quantità, quindi giusto per dirvi un attimo di feedback anche da parte mia. Vi chiederei di partecipare appunto perché mi sarebbe interessante capire. Vi mando adesso un poll in diretta e voi se per piacere potete rispondere con sì e no, perché vorrei capire appunto qua la platea quanto utilizza, insomma, con la percentuale della platea che utilizza già Navisworks, che in gran parte, in molti casi, i clienti hanno, perché prendono appunto delle collection che contengono magari anche Revit e altri software di casa Autodesk, ma molti non lo utilizzano, nonostante ce l'abbiano, ecco. Quindi vi do giusto un minuto per rispondere, ma sto già vedendo che la percentuale è decisamente a favore del sì. E mi fa molto piacere anche perché soprattutto chi ha magari già utilizzato Navisworks può apprezzare di più questo tipo di prodotto. Direi che avete votato più o meno tutti, quindi vi condivido anche il risultato. Vedete c'è la stragrande maggioranza che utilizza già Navisworks. E allora vi faccio un attimo una breve introduzione anche su cos'è Gritec e cos'è iConstruct, questa nuova partnership che è nata veramente da poco tempo e che ci sta dando veramente grandi soddisfazioni. E non cercherò di non rubare troppo tempo a Robert, che vi spiegherà appunto nel dettaglio alcuni tools che troviamo in questo prodotto. Vedete appunto, oggi parleremo di Navisworks, ma in particolare all'interno di Navisworks iConstruct. Gritec è appunto fornitore per l'Italia di questo tipo di piattaforme, di questo tipo di prodotto. Nasce in Francia nel 1986, vi faccio una breve introduzione. Diciamo che è una società che è cresciuta piuttosto in fretta fino a diventare oggi, nel 2020, una multinazionale con oltre 50 uffici nel mondo. Gritec è un Autodesk Platinum Partner, è terzo in termini di commerciali proprio a livello mondiale come partner di Autodesk, e vanta 32 anni di esperienza nel mondo CAD, CAE e il più recente appunto BIM, fornendo anche soluzioni proprie, però più improntate all'ambito strutturale. Alcuni che ci conoscono già lo sapranno, appunto ci sono diversi prodotti in ambito strutturale che vengono appunto sviluppati proprio da Gritec come sviluppatore, società di sviluppo software. Abbiamo diverse sedi in tutta Italia in modo da coprire tutto il territorio, come Gritec Italia. In particolare la nostra sede principale è appunto situata a Venezia, ma abbiamo anche sede su Milano, Verona, Napoli e Bari. iConstruct è il nostro partner appunto per questo appunto prodotto e che partecipa attivamente a questo webinar, a questa presentazione. Ci tenevamo appunto che la prima webinar di questo prodotto fosse fatta proprio da loro. Sono una società che ha già diversi anni di esperienza nello sviluppo di applicativi BIM, per in particolare appunto questo che riguarda una piattaforma con grandi potenzialità che è Navisworks, e appunto ha un'esperienza multidisciplinare in gran parte su progetti americani e australiani. Ne vedete appunto alcuni in questa slide. Diciamo che si parla sempre di BIM sia applicato a parte architettonica e appunto ingegneristica e nell'ambito costruzioni, non solo di edifici, ma anche di infrastrutture e diciamo siti industriali. Quindi diciamo che è un applicativo che ha le più svariati utilizzi in tutte le discipline. Vedete, questi sono alcuni dei clienti appunto che può vantare iConstruct. Tra questi clienti troviamo appunto 20 delle top 25 general contractors negli Stati Uniti. Possiamo vedere appunto tra l'altro alcuni nomi come Acciona o alcuni società di ingegneria come ICOM, GHD o ARU, comunque nomi di un certo rilievo. Diciamo che dalla mia esperienza anche professionale all'estero ho notato che comunque questo tipo di prodotto, soprattutto in Australia, è già più che diffuso. Anche perché iConstruct, avendo tre sedi negli Stati Uniti, una in Slovenia che segue la parte appunto Europa e 2 sedi in Australia, è una società che nasce in Australia. Ora ha sede su Brisbane, dove viene sviluppato, e su Perth in particolare. Questo prodotto diciamo che ha la particolarità di di fornire più di 40 strumenti che offrono soluzioni per differenti attività, ovviamente tutte orientate alla gestione del processo BIM. L'obiettivo finale è quello di comunque estrarre e organizzare dati contenuti nel modello e utilizzare in maniera più efficiente all'interno del processo, che porta al raggiungimento di appunto specifici BIM uses di progetto. Qua nella slide ne vedete alcuni, cioè ci sono dei tool dedicati alle clash, altri dedicati puramente proprio all'import-export di dati. E molto interessante anche il fatto che è possibile anche creare delle routine che partono in automatico, similari a quei diciamo, applicativi con i quali è possibile magari lanciare render con il PC in background. È possibile farlo customizzandoli e lanciando appunto, facendo fare tutto al PC, dandogli appunto una scadenza temporale in modo da magari farlo elaborare di notte o comunque in momenti in cui non è necessario occupare la macchina. I prodotti che iConstruct fornisce sono appunto un prodotto specifico per la gestione delle class detection, un prodotto specifico per gli export, perché vedrete con Robert che ci sono anche dei tools molto interessanti per l'export di Ifc da Navisworks, ma soprattutto iConstruct Pro. iConstruct Pro è un prodotto il più completo di tutta di tutto insomma lo scenario dei prodotti forniti da iConstruct, ed è quello più completo, appunto ha al suo interno comunque una parte legata alle clash, la parte di export, ha veramente tutto quanto quello che serve per una gestione avanzata dei modelli. Adesso lascio la parola a Robert Gabon, che è Customer Success Manager per iConstruct, che vi spiegherà appunto, vi farà vedere alcuni tools, quelli diciamo anche più apprezzati sul mercato di questo tipo di prodotto. So Robert, I give you the floor. Great.
Great.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Can you see Navisworks?
Yeah, of course.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much. So yeah, my name is Robert Gadbaugh. I'm Customer Success Manager. I'm based in Portland, Oregon right now. Have spent quite a bit of time in Italy over the past year working with Marie Technimont there in Milan. So very familiar with the area. What I'm going to do here today, I'm going to kind of break my demo up into the three different products that we have. We have a product called Clash, one called Exporter Bundle, and then one called Pro, which basically includes everything. So I'm going to start out with just our Clash. That's probably our number one reason why most people buy our product if they're in the building sector. Once we get into oil and gas, they buy the more full version because they're not really doing clashing. They're doing conditioning of models, and I'll be showing you that also. But also the Exporter Bundle is very, very popular right now all over Europe for us. So I'm going to start out with Clash. So this is a new product that we came out with about 6 months ago, and we came out with the version so it works with Pro Core. But we are also adding the ability to push our clashes into products like Aconex and Bim Track, and we'll look at some of the other ones that are out there also. But to get started here, I have actually 3 tests already. I've got structural versus HVAC, structural versus plumbing, and structural versus all. I don't have a lot of clashes in here, but there's enough to show you what I've done. If I go to the results here, you can just see it's just giving me the clash names. So what I want to do is I want to start grouping these. Navisworks does a very good job of helping you find clashes, but it doesn't do a very good job of helping you group them all together. And that's what I want to do. I want to reduce these numbers here. So what we're going to do, up here on the ribbon, I have what's called iConstruct Clash. I'm going to go here. It's really mainly 3 buttons. I'm not going to look to upload into Procore today. I'm just going to do these 3 buttons. So let's go look at grouping our clashes. So this group dialog box comes up, and I can select all 3 of my tests at one time if I want to group them all the same way. We come with some predefined ones already for you in here. So some of these are already predefined. Some of them I've already created myself. If you want to create your own, you just click in here and you just want to create one here. I'll just say it's Rob. And then basically you just drag and drop what you want. So if I want to say, oh, I want the zone that it's in, and then I can specify what's a selection set and the property that I want to use that represents that zone. And then I could say, oh, then I want to do it by level from there. And then I might want to do it by a proximity distance and say I want to do it by 50 feet. And this is all based on the unit. So if this was in metric, it would actually say meters here. And so this is how I'm going to group my clashes. So it's going to go by a zone. So different area, might be a room, something like that. Then by the level that it's on, and then by a proximity distance. And I'll just quickly save this. And now I'm going to go ahead and say, let's go ahead and group this. So what it's going to do, it's going to do all 3 tests at one time. It's okay here. I'm going to close this. Now I'm going to come over here. Now you can see the numbers. I had 700 and some clashes before. Now I'm down to 447 here. If I go to the results, now you can see we've actually given them a name that means something. So here I've got zone 3, level 6, and this is proximity group 1. Okay, so there's quite a few clashes in there. I could have made that proximity distance a little smaller so it didn't grab as many clashes, but what that was doing is basically saying, hey, if you got any clashes within 50 feet, group those together for me. So now I want to look at managing these. So I'm going to come up here to what's called the review tool. I'll bring up the review tool here. And this has gone through and it shows me all my different groups in here. And you can see this group here has got 44 clashes. Well, that's way too many clashes for what I need here. So what I want to do is I'm going to say, yeah, I want to take these out and put them into another group. So I can just come up here and say, hey, grab all those and regroup those into its own group. Same thing. I don't really want these here. I want those into another group here. Let me just change the way I'm selecting down to first object. And then I'll just grab that. And that's put that into a group. And then same thing here. I'm going to put this into a group too. Okay. So you can see that you can quickly and easily create your own groups from the ones you already had. We can rename these. We can put in, this is a structural versus HVAC here. I can put in some redlining here. I can put in some notes, and this will save it for you. Other things that we can end up doing is if I select these, let's just grab a few of these clashes here. I can go in and I can change the status here so that I've reviewed them. And automatically, once you've reviewed them, it puts a checkbox here. So this checkbox means, hey, I want to create a viewpoint, or if you are using products like a Procore, that it would upload this into Procore. As you can see here, the view shows I've created a viewpoint. If I just zoom in and then go to another one, you can see that one automatically grabs that and holds that view for you. And you can also go in and assign them to someone. If you're logged into Procore or something, it'll remember everybody that is associated to the project. We can also put in comments down here. So I'm just going to say move duct, and as you can see, it remembers ones that I've put in there previously. And now I've added in a note to every one of those. Okay. And you can change the way that you're looking at this at any time. You can switch over to this. All right. So that's done. There's a lot more we can really do inside this, but I'm going to go ahead and get out of the review tool. And now what I want to do is I want to create some viewpoints. Well, I don't have any at the moment. And so what I want to do is I'm going to go in, here to this viewpoints. Same thing. We have some predefined ways to be able to group your clashes or your views. And so in this case in here, I'm going to do the date, the test name, and then the level that they're on. Okay. And then right now you can see there's just a box here. And what if I expand that out, it's only going to do the ones that I have checked at the moment. Well, I've decided now I really want to do all my clashes. So let's just check them all. So I'm going to do all three groups. And if I just go create here, it's going to quickly go through and create a directory for me. Now, if you ever use the ones in Clash Detective, a lot of people go in here and actually create this down to viewpoints. Every single view goes into its own individual folder. Here you can see here, I've got one folder. There's the date. There's all three different tests. There's the different levels that they're on. As if I can go in here, you can see, and these are the ones that I did earlier. And there's, you can see that one that I created here. So we're managing all those clashes for you. Okay. Now, the last thing, and this is our old, more in the old version here. I'm just going to turn off, these are my zones here. I'm going to generate a report. So we can actually go in, this is our clash here. I'm going to go in here, say Clash Manager. And, oops, sorry, not Clash Manager. I'm going to do Clash Report. Just going to create one little quick report here just to show you. So here's the HVAC in here. Like this is one that I did there. I'm going to say, let's do this one. And let's just do a couple of them in here. And maybe jump over here and do something like this. We have options in here to make things transparent, changing the colors. Whether I want to generate a plan or elevation view, I can do that. I'm just going to go ahead and go run here. Just a very quick, easy way to look at generating some reports here. And so this is going to create a PDF file, but we can save it out as an XLS file, whatever you want. This is 100% customizable, just what I've thrown together here. So it's going to pop up here in just a second. All right, so this is just a quick little view of it. So you can basically see this is where the clash is at in an elevation view. There it is in a plan view. Then it gives you a detail of the clash itself. And I keep on going down. It's a little grayed out. I could have made my stuff a little bit more transparent there, but as you can see there, the two locations where the clash is at, and that's what I should have done. The stuff's just not transparent enough. Okay, so that's the clash module. Okay, so this is it's a standalone thing. We do have more clashing in the full product, but this is the new thing out here. Is just really lightweight, easy to use. So the next thing I want to look at is this exporter bundle. So I'm going to just open up a different model here. So our exporter bundle includes basically three different tools. What what we have is we have the BCF export, we have an IFC export, and a DWG export. So we can take any model whatsoever, doesn't matter where it's come from, and we can either export that out as any of those. The DWGs or IFCs are the main thing, or you can do the BCF. So I'm going to look at doing the IFC, but I'll show you both of the setups here. With IFCs, we can export it out 3 different ways. We can export it out just with geometry only, nothing else. So when you open it back up, there's no properties on it, but you got all the geometry there so you can see if there's any clashes in a model. Next way is to export it out with data. So I could say, hey, when I export this out, what I want is I also want you to export out the properties in here. So let me just turn this on here. So for instance here, if I select on this, grab an item in here. So I might want to say when I export this out, I want to make sure all this CADWorks properties goes with the file, okay? That's great. The only issue with that is when it exports it out, it's a generic object and it has data associated to it, but it's not mapped. It doesn't know it's a pipe. Only the data here shows me it's a pipe. So those are the 3 different ways. Now I've already got them set up, but I'll show you how to do this. So let me go back in here. I'm going to select a few objects. I'm going to come down to general configuration. I'm going to go down here to the IFC export. And I've already got this done, so I'm just going to kind of show you what I have. So right now, the first one is geometry only. That's it. There's nothing else to do. I just click on new, and it's just geometry only. Next one is geometry and data. And you'll see here in the middle, I'm actually including all the CADWorks information. Okay, that's it. So it's exporting out the geometry, and then I'm including all the data that goes with it. And it's very simple to do. You just basically come over here and you just drag into the middle what you'd want. So if I wanted to include something else here, I could say, oh, include all the AutoCAD information too. And so now you can see I've got AutoCAD there. The last one here is mapping. Okay, with mapping, it's similar to the geometry in here, but what we do is we go in and we map what these items are. And to do this, you need to have selection or search sets. That's the most critical thing. So for instance, if I come down here to piping, what we can actually do is in here with the piping in here, I can go in and I can pick, oh, bends are all elbows. What else do we got here? We've got some connectors. So I'll say, let's throw it, map all my flanges to be connectors. And let's go a junction here. These are all T's, so on. And then say for my pipes, I can do the same thing. Here's the pipes. I won't say it's flexible. I'll say it's rigid. And I have a selection set or search sets that grabs all the pipes. And now they're going to be mapped to this rigid segment. Okay. And then on the last one, then I could go down and I could select, you know, the valves or something like that. So I didn't actually grab that one. That's why they weren't set. I'll say, do you want to save this? Yeah, I won't save anything here. All right, so that's what they are. And I've actually, like I said, I've already got these things set up. Right here are the 3 different ways. Now I want to show you the DWG, and I'll make one quick export also. So if I come down in here to the Smart DWG export, okay, so this is the one I'm using here. So there's my template name. You can export it out as a mesh, solid, or we also do a 2D hidden line view. This is a plan view. So if I happen to go to the top view here, I could export that out and it'll give me a 2D drawing. I can export it out as metric or imperial, all as one layer or multiple layers. And when you say multiple layers, you're just picking a property that you want to use for that layer. What are you going to export out? Everything that's either visible or selected on screen. And then here you have the ability to either keep all the data in the model or just keep the user defined data, which I'll show you in a moment. Okay. So with this IFC, IFC doesn't give you the ability to either export it out as a selection or whatever's on screen. It only does whatever's on screen. So I'm just going to grab a few items here like this. and I'm just going to hide everything else. That's all I'm going to export out. I'm going to create an Ifc file of just that data. And so if I go here to Smart Ifc, I have the three options: geometry and data, or mapping. I'll go ahead and do the mapping one. Project name, organization, site, building name, and author. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I'm not, for time-wise. And then I'm just going to throw this right on my desktop here, and I'm just going to call this one Ifc Export. And I'm going to go save. And so it's going to go through and it's going to export this out. This is a very, very popular tool for us. So it only took 4 seconds. Not everything always takes 4 seconds. Sometimes it's very long. But let me just go back to my desktop. Let me open up this Ifc just so you can see what I've created. So this is the one I just did. I'm not going to save that. All right, so there's the model. See what I have there. Whoops. If I come on over in here, there's the project, site, building, level. Because I mapped it, these actually say pipe, reducing T. There'll be some things possibly in here that don't say it. I maybe didn't get everything mapped. Looks like I did a pretty good job of it. So that's what you would actually get. If you had done with data, these would all be generic objects if you didn't map them. And I can expand these things out, and you should see the CADWorks information is associated to it. Okay. So that's our Ifc export. And like I say, DWG is very similar. It'll just create you a 3D DWG. So that's the Ifc and the exporter there. So next thing I'm going to do is we're going to look at now the full version of iConstruct. So full version of iConstruct includes everything. So the first tool that I want to show you, though, is what is called Reconstruct. Reconstruct is a very powerful tool. It's overlooked, and actually I'm going to show you something else first. I wanted to show you a large oil and gas model here. And this is just a typical situation for people working with oil and gas. So even if you're not in the oil and gas industry, you're probably getting these models, and you get the models from different sources. So if I expand out this tree here, you can see all these different files that I've got pulled into this one model. These files have all got different, they're coming from, they're structured completely different. So if I expand that out, you can see this is like going down to 7 different levels here like that. But if I come over to a different one here like this, there's 1, 2, 3 levels. So very hard to work with this file. This file is a lot bigger than it looks too. I've actually got sectioning turned on, okay? Well, a lot of people now are uploading their models into HoloLenses, and well, sometimes these models are just too big to do that. So we have a tool called Reconstruct. Reconstruct allows us to break up our models into smaller portions, but it also allows us to organize the tree here. So just remember this tree. I'm going to open up this other file, and then I'm going to show you how this works actually. Look at the file difference here. This one's 11 megs compared to 370 megs. And what I've done is I've taken that area and I've cut it out. I physically have taken the model and cut that portion of it out. But the main thing I want to show you here is the tree view. Remember all those different files. This is a real job, by the way, too. I expand this out. I took all those files and reorganized them all to 3 levels. So I have a layer level, which is my discipline. I then broke it down by a line number in this case. And then I broke it down by each individual part. So I've got an item, a group, and a layer. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how to do this live. So let me go in. I'm going to grab my model, just a smaller model to reconstruct it. So this one here. So this is a Tekla model. This is a classic model that a lot of people get. They get models from Tekla all the time. This is the way they come in. You got this not in use, undefined, undefined, undefined. Then I've got truss. I highlight truss, everything gets selected. And then I got bolt assemblies. I expand that out. I got angles. Expand that out, it says body. Tells me nothing. I have no idea what this thing is. I have to come down in here to look at all the properties of it, okay? So what we can do, and I'm going to change mine up a little bit to show you, I can reorganize this tree, but I'm also going to chop it up too. So let me go in here. Let me go to viewpoint and let's go enable sectioning. I'm going to do a box. All right, and we're just going to rotate this thing here. Let's go turn it this way here. Let's rotate it this way, and then I'll just scale this up. All right, so that's what I'm going to export out. So if I take off the sectioning, you'll see it's a lot bigger, okay? So I am going to leave the sectioning on. That's what I'm going to export out. So I'm going to come down here. Let me just show you what we're going to do here. It's going to be very quick. Here's my IFC tab. So what I'm going to do is I've got a reconstruct here, and I'm going to do Tekla. I'm going to load it. And this one I'm going to say export everything except hidden. So basically I'm saying, hey, go to the IFC tab right there. I want you to group everything based on the name. So the angle, and then the parts are all going to be called whatever the description says it is, okay? I don't want to be, say, body. I want that to say L140 by 12, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and save this thing and close. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go to my reconstruct. I'm going to run my Tekla one. And I'll just call it Tekla sample reconstruct. I'm going to go save. This takes a few seconds here. But basically it's going to go out, it's going to export that out, and it's going to physically trim the items. Ooh, that wasn't good. Shouldn't have done that, but let me, still going here, hang on. Ah, that's weird. Must have had another session there. So let's just try it. Never seen a message like that come up and not crash your system, but here's the model here. And there you go. This is what I just exported out. But now look at the tree view. Okay, so I don't have this undefined and everything. I totally took that model, and now all my angles, my beams are grouped together, my braces are together. I got my plates. If I expand these out, it doesn't say body anymore. I've actually given it the name, but I keep all the data. All the information is still intact here. All we're doing is just reorganizing this tree and breaking up your model into all the data is still exactly the same. Okay. So that's a reconstruct tool. Next tool I want to show you is what is called, two of them, integrator and append data. So when I reconstructed that model earlier in that oil and gas model, I basically I need to have all the data onto one tab, okay? Every single thing that you want to export out needs to be on one tab. So I can't pull a data from one tab and when I'm reconstructing it and using it, another one from another tab. I need it all on one tab. So what we have here is what's called integrator. Integrator allows me to go to different tabs and pull information from that tab and pull it onto a new tab. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And as you can see here, at the group level here, I don't really have any properties. There's nothing here really. If I go to an individual item, I've got a lot of data, probably a lot more than I ever need. Okay, that's what a lot of people complain about. They're having to jump around to find all the information that they need. So with integrator, I'm going to go this one. I'm going to run this one just on this here real quick. I'm going to say HVAC standards, one I've got set up. It says 4 groups and 424 items. You can now see I've got a new tab here called iConstruct Hospital. If I click on that, now you'll see it says system name, system type, a level, and a work set. Okay, so I pulled all that information from the lower levels. Now, if I go to an individual item, I also have that iConstruct Hospital tab. I pulled in all the data that I need onto one individual tab. And I pulled it from different locations. Some of it might have been on the element tab. This might have been on the level tab here. Okay, so you got all that information. Now, what a lot of people don't know is if you ever use this publish command here, there's an option down here to say prevent object property export. That in itself will reduce your model size. But what you can do is if you publish this right now, it would rip out all those other tabs and really just leave me with the timeliner, my iConstruct tab, and the item tab. It would take all those others out of there. But because I got this user-defined tab, I can also manually add some new data to this. So let's just do this. I've got this Append Data tab. I'm going to say I want to create one called status. And the status here is installed. And I'm going to apply it to all the items and groups. I'm going to say create that tab if it doesn't exist. And I'm also going to change the color. So if it's installed, I want it to be colored green. I'm going to create another one in here. I'm going to say it's fabricated. And if it's fabricated, I'm going to say it's red. And fabricated. I'm going to close that. All right, so right now you can see I've got the iConstruct Hospital tab here. I got two buttons here. If I click on this and I say it's installed, you can now see I've got a status here installed. Every single item now says it's installed and it's changed to green. I can go in here and say, hey, let's grab that. Oh, that's fabricated. That automatically creates that tab and throws in that status. So you can go around and just start grabbing on different, yep, that's installed. So you can have your different team members be able to do that. Now, question often comes up to say, well, that's nice, that's great. I add all this data in here, but what happens if I get a new model? Or are my people going to have to put that back in there again? Technically, yes, but that's what we have is what's called Bim Flow that I could show you that here later on. But what we would actually do is I would export out that data. So we have the ability to export out information. I'll show you that here soon too. But what I can do in here, let me just show you here. Here's a whole bunch of lights, okay? If I select on one of these lights here, you'll see I've got that iConstruct Hospital tab already created. You can call this tab anything you want, by the way. You can see an ID and name and a category. I'm going to say, yep, that's installed. And so now you'll actually see I've got the installed there and it is green. Okay. What I want to do is I want to write in a bunch of data. Okay. So say I had all those statuses. I could export out all those statuses and then I can write them back in at any time. So if I go here to data link, I have one already set up. I can data link in an Excel spreadsheet, an Access database, a SQL server, whatever kind of database that you might have. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. And this is going to go through. It's going to take all that data in my database and it's going to write it in there. And so now if I select that same light I had before, now you can see in here I've got a supplier's Phillips and a cost. Every single thing in here now has that. Now this one's the only one with the status because that's the only thing I've added. So you can take any kind of database. We physically are writing it into the model, okay? We also have a tool, if you've got like PDF files and stuff, you can actually have something where it will go through and open up files for you. Any PDF or DWG, we have that ability also. A couple more tools and then we'll wrap it up here. I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but there's like over 40 different tools. I'm trying to show you the main ones here. Next one I want to show you is color coding. So we can color code our model based on a database too. So that statuses I put in there earlier manually, I could have all that information in a database and link it up to the model, and it'll automatically color code the model based on that database. And it'll create you a little legend. You can generate reports from this. So there you can see here, it's just color coded. So everything there in red hasn't even been fabricated. The only stuff, the stuff in green there is received and shipped. Whenever you see something in gray, that means it wasn't colored at all. So it's not in the database for some reason, or there's no value. So something that they need to look at. The next tool I want to show you is what is called Audit. Audit allows you to go through and break up your model based on any property whatsoever, okay? In my situation here, I've got a whole bunch of HVAC systems, okay? So I'm going to just grab a few systems here. I'm going to do the whole model. I'm going to come up here to Audit, and I've already got one set up, says Isolate System Name. And so all that's going to do is going to create me a viewpoint and a selection set of every different HVAC system that I have in this model. So I'm just going to quickly run this. This is pretty quick. It doesn't take very long. And I'm going to go over here to the viewpoints. And this is what I just did. Isolate the system names. And I've gone through and I've generated a viewpoints of all these. And I should have actually I didn't create sets. But that is an ability. I could have actually said create sets out of this also. Okay. So I'm going to look at generating a report here. Let's say I'm going to do let's do this report, mechanical supply air. So we have our own. Let me change the color of this too. Just so it shows up a little bit better in my view report here. Mechanical supply air, that's one we're going to run there. All right, and so we'll come down here to standard tools. Let's just generate a view report. Let's do this one, and I think I did that one there, and let's just see what happens. So this is similar to the Clash view report. It's going to create a plan view, an elevation view, and here it's come up in here. And this is actually giving me a list of all the different components and the count of them all. So 100% customizable. Do whatever you want with it. The last main thing here really to show, I've already done all those, is exporting. So we can get quantities out of this. So I can take all those doors, I can go in here and let's go export data, and I'm going to go door schedule here. I think this one, I just did this right before our little meeting, so hopefully it comes up okay. And should be coming up. Showing a preview somewhere. It might have gone onto another screen, maybe. See if I can do that again. It's for some reason it looks like it's on another screen. Door schedule, or it's very, very small.
Robert, this is the beauty of a live show.
Yeah, I know. It is. It is. Definitely.
It happens.
I'm going to do one other thing here. Let me try this. Let me just try another session, see if it'll open up very quick. Yeah, no. I definitely am a live show guy. So let's try this. Export. It's flashing, but it's not coming up. All right, one last thing, and if this doesn't, if I can't get this one, it's actually coming up somewhere. I've got 3 monitors, but I can't see on either monitor. Let's try framing. I'll do structural framing and see if I can get something out of this one. So I do have another one here. This isn't a PDF. I got structural framing. This is just going to come up in an Excel spreadsheet. Just give you another example. But I basically have just taken all that structural framing. You should see Excel should flash up here in a second. And there's the Excel, and there it pops up. So there I've exported out. So you can get quantities showing you the steel. I could have got a count of how much steel of a certain size on certain levels and things like that. So all that's possible. That's basically it for me. So questions? Sorry, I've got 10 minutes to spare. Try this door again.
Maybe we can check Bim Flow to
Oh yeah, sorry, big one. That was a big one. Thank you, Matea.
Yeah. No worries.
Bim Flow. Sorry, I did have a few. So Bim Flow is an extra. It comes with iConstruct now, this is a way to automate all of our processes, and we can schedule these things to do them at nighttime. So for instance, here, if I go in here to, I'll just create a new job here real quick. I'm just going to say this one's, all right, can't even type this morning. All right, and I'm going to go okay. I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to go into design workflow. All right, so this is going to come up with a different looking interface. Basically what you have here is all your iConstruct activities. Then we get into what's called standard activities, and then you get some advanced stuff. But it's as simple as dragging and dropping. So you'd say, oh, I need to start Navisworks. Once I get Navisworks started, what do you want to do? Oh, I need to open up a model. So let's go up here and let's go open up a model. And you just come over here and you specify the model name that you want to open up. Okay. Let's say I'm going to do, I want to export out an Ifc file. Okay. So what I might do is, what do you want to export out? Oh, I might want to export out a selection set, because as you know, with the Ifc only exports what's shown on screen. So I'm going to say, what I want to do now, I'm going to go select a view activity, or sorry, we'll go a selection set activity. And I just come over here and I type in the selection set. So it might say pipes, let's say. That's what I want to export out. And then what I do is I'm going to say, oh, I now then need to hide except what I have selected on screen. So now I've hidden everything. So if you just think about what's happened, I've started Navisworks, I've opened a model, I've grabbed a selection set, I've hidden it, and now I want to do the Ifc export. This is always a hard one to find. There it is, Smart Ifc Export. And then I would say, well, what do you want to do here? You'd specify the name of where you want to do it, and then you'd pick, I don't know if I've got one in here. I'm doing some stuff with some HoloLens right now. And then you'd specify how you're going to export it out. So you build these up, and then you can run these with Windows Task Scheduler to run on a nightly basis. I want to just show you one I just did for some customers on for HoloLens. And so basically what this does here is it goes through, starts Navisworks, opens up a certain model, goes out and breaks up the model into all these different areas. So they create 35 different models. Then once those models are created, then it goes through and opens up each individual model that's stored into a certain location, exports those out as Ifc files. Okay. Like I say, there's 35 NWDs. They'll create 35 Ifcs, and this will run every single night. So they have the latest models every day to be able to upload up into their HoloLens and stuff like that. So. But yeah, you can build, as you can see here, as many as you want. These are all just different jobs, and have them scheduled at different times to run, either at night, during the day, whatever. All right, that's it from me.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert.
Great.
Very clear and very interesting. Yesterday evening, I've used Bim Flow because I had huge Bim models made of 100 single models, and I used to reconstruct all the models in this morning. So it's beautiful. I think that is amazing, this type of tool. Thank you, Robert. I'll take the presentation.
Great.
So, quindi spero che abbiate avuto appunto occasione di notare alcune delle applicazioni di questo prodotto. A volte va a compensare alcune lacune di Navisworks, altre volte addirittura va a migliorare tools già presenti in Navisworks e molto efficienti, integrandoli con ulteriori funzioni. La cosa interessante è che appunto questo prodotto nasce da un'esigenza reale del prodotto sul mercato, cioè gran parte di questi strumenti sono stati sviluppati perché il mercato lo ha richiesto, quindi per quello che in molti casi sono molto contestualizzati e in molti casi riescono a rispondere poi alle esigenze che magari l'80% di noi abbiamo avuto la necessità di andare a soddisfare. vi lascio questa mail che è info.italy@greatech.com. Se aveste bisogno di richiedere ulteriori informazioni, organizzare una demo del prodotto, informarvi sui costi, e quindi per qualsiasi tipo di richiesta anche di chiarimento. Purtroppo oggi col fatto che avevamo poco tempo non siamo riusciti a fare anche un 10 minuti, un quarto d'ora per le domande, però potete tranquillamente farle a questa mail e quindi anche richiedere una prova del prodotto, insomma, per andare a testarlo proprio sul campo. Ok, quindi vi ringrazio per l'attenzione e niente, ci vediamo probabilmente alle prossime webinar sempre per iConstruct. Ringrazio appunto, thank you Mattei and Robert for your support, and see you
Thank
next
you.
time.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Great.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.